We're 1 week into the salmon season of 2018, and the fishing has been great, and a lot of people are going to be wanting to make smoked salmon. So I'm going to share with you my recipe that I use, and I'm going to estimate on the measurements of the ingredients because I usually don't measure it. I just pour it in there because I know how much I want. I start with about 4 cups of soy sauce, then I add about a cup of teriyaki, then I add about a 1/4 cup of the Worcestershire, then I add basil, fresh ground pepper, sometimes I add a little cayenne pepper, and a little parsley. I use garlic powder. You only need to marinate the salmon for 20 to 30 minutes, and whatever you do, don't add salt. There's plenty of sodium and salt in the marinade already from the soy sauce and the other ingredients. After I take the meat out of the marinade, I place it on a baking sheet and I drizzle a little bit of teriyaki sauce on top. Then I lightly sprinkle some garlic powder, a little more crushed pepper, and a little more basil on top. I fire up my coals in a barbecue, and then I put my grills from the smoker on top to heat them up and clean them. I put some lump coal in the smoke box of the smoker, then I add the hot coals once they turn completely gray. And to season the grill and kick up the heat in the smoker, I'll add some wood pellets and some other smoking wood, but that's not the wood I use when I'm actually smoking the meat. Once my smoker's up to between, I want to keep it around 200 degrees, 180 to 220 is good. Once it's up to temperature, I start adding the meat into the smoker from the furthest point away from the smoke box towards it, putting the thicker slices furthest away. Leave small spaces between all the pieces of meat. Don't have the edges of the meat tight to each other or touching. That way the smoke can go all the way around it. I usually have to smoke it for about 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. Smoking salmon is work. You have to maintain the temperature and keep an eye on your coals. You don't want too much coals in there. You may have to add a little bit more of the briquettes or the lump coal. And when you add the wood, and I only use apple wood in there when I'm actually smoking the meat, and just take a couple pinches and sprinkle it in there, only a little bit at a time. The biggest mistake most people make, and I've done this when I first started out smoking food, is I thought it was all about the smoke. It's all about controlling the temperature, maintaining a temperature, and small amounts of wood, or else the food becomes too pungent and bitter. It'll make your tongue numb, and nobody will be able to eat it. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Everybody that I share my smoked salmon with says it's really good. A lot of people have told me it's the best they've ever had, and I'm very happy with it, so I hope it works out for you. If you got any questions, if I left anything out or whatever, just hit me up in the comments and I'll help you if I can. Alright, so it's still hot. It's fresh out of the smoker, and you gotta let it sit around for a few hours to air out, to let the pungent go away. But squid face, try this shit, dude. Just pick off a little piece and taste it and see. What do you think?
That was good.
Are you faking it?
No, it's real good.
Do it again, just to make sure. It's still hot.
No, it's good. Real good.